Welcome to Charts Today. My name is David Linton, and today's edition for Tuesday, the 14th of July, comes to you from London, and a lot of red on the screen today, and that's primarily because we had a very big reversal in the Nasdaq 100 overnight. So we saw the market was up to over 2% yesterday at one point, and then it reversed to end down 2%, so a massive 4% move there. And this candle is a bullish engulfing candle, and this would normally be the first signs of a change in sentiment. And we see also that this was on very, very high volume, much higher than anything we've seen since the collapse in markets due to coronavirus. So this is quite a big concern. It's early worry. We need to see what happens from here, but that is the first signs that sentiment is changing. So currencies, not much change here. Dollar is still slightly bearish. Sterling actually sitting a little bit lower against the dollar as well. But if we get straight to the markets, we see here there was a 1% move in the S&P 500, not as dramatic as the Nasdaq, but that has given us, at the moment, that's a doji. And if we look at that chart in more detail, we see this big candlestick doji. And again, a doji, this would be an evening star doji. This is signs that the market is entering that period of uncertainty. Great big trading range there, and we end up closing little change, down 1%. But the fact is that is also probably a bearish signal, and that we sort of hit the resistance of the June 8th high. The fact that we hit that resistance and then fell away from it is also significant. So there are just some slight concerns creeping in here on the market. We're still bullish above the cloud on all three time frames, but that is something that we now have to watch very, very carefully. And if we look at the Nasdaq 100 here, we see how we traded up in the session. We actually gapped up, and then the sellers emerged, and we saw a very big sell-off towards the end. And this will give us a downside target on the 60-minute chart. So we can easily just hit the V key, go and see that. We've got a 7% downside target on that move yesterday. No big surprises there. Two times the move that we've already had. So that is significant that we've got that sell-off. Of course, we need to activate this column, so that will need a reversal and then a move lower. So this column might get bigger. One to watch. If you've done the Updata training courses, you'll understand this in full, of course. This is my weekly, my daily, my 60-minute and my 60-minute chart here. So long-term, medium-term, and short-term charts. The Dow actually was flat overnight, so we didn't see obviously the tighter held constituents there. And we are seeing the futures up slightly this morning. The S&P E-mini is up, and the Nasdaq future is also up. Another key move is the VIX volatility. It's down 4% today, but it did jump quite significantly there yesterday. And again, on this chart, we could easily go and put the target on for this column. So we're seeing on the VIX there that it has got potential to go up as high as about 45, which is 44% increase, which would be putting us back. But that jump in the VIX volatility, we saw it last week and we saw it again this week, and we are into bullish territory for the VIX, which of course is bad for stocks. The VIX volatility is starting to rise, so something to watch there. The FTSE future down 0.45% this morning. The DAX down 1.4, and the DAX cash also down by 1.3. So market selling off on that. That wave of selling that we saw entering tech stocks in the US last night. CAC Quant down 1.5%. Tokyo was off 0.5%. So this chart's still bearish long term. And we're just heading back into the bear zone on the shorter term chart. The Hang Seng was off 1%, and Chinese stocks, which of course have jumped of late, were off 0.8%. So we still have this massive jump in Chinese stocks and no real clear signs of a sell-off there. The Sensex in India did get hit, down 1.9%, and the Aussie market off 0.6%. Gold is still holding on to the $1,800 mark, but we've seen here also that gold is just starting to enter this sell everything mode. Might re-enter here, but we do still have fantastic chart targets on the gold chart there, and silver has been looking very bullish of late, is off 0.5% today, but it has been breaking to new closing highs there, so looking very bullish as well. US 10-year yield sitting just slightly lower at 0.63%, so we are just seeing a move there. And if we look at the tech stocks themselves, we saw Apple yesterday. They sold off towards the end. No big surprises there. Remembering that Apple, Amazon, and Microsoft make up a third of the Nasdaq 100. We saw the sell-off there in Amazon as well. Another bearish engulfing candle. Google were also sold off. Not quite a bearish engulfing candle there. And Facebook also Microsoft also looking lower there, and Facebook also down, of course. So we've seen not quite as big a sell-off there for Facebook, but for the majors we did really see that. So that is really significant for the market. Brent crude is down this morning by 0.6%, sitting at $42.47. We do have this downside target to 38.95. We need to break below 41.80 to activate that, and we do have some downside targets creeping in here. And we're just seeing the chart slowly rolling over. We're in slightly bearish territory here. 43.50 was really the resistance level, and we're seeing progressively lower highs, so that is slightly bearish as well. And if we look at WTI, of course, a similar picture on that chart as well. So we're seeing here just progressively lower highs, and we're in bearish territory on the chart. We do have a downside target 6% lower to $37.35, and that is activated. US nat gas sitting down just under 1% at 173. So we are seeing here also just sell off into bearish territory. Downside targets, we were bearish out to clients yesterday for US nat gas for the week, and we are just seeing here these targets starting to play out. Coal is holding up. It's up slightly this morning, so we are seeing the continuation of the recovery in coal looking pretty good, and emissions have been struggling at this €30 mark. Again, we put out a very bullish call on emissions yesterday with some very big upside targets to clients, and we are just seeing here this trend still holding. And gas is having a little bit of a better morning this morning. There's MBP up 1%, and but we are still bearish here on the 60-minute chart. And if we look at TTF, Dutch gas, we're down 1%, so we are still seeing a move lower there, so that's quite key as well. We do have these targets here. We need to get back above the €6 mark for TTF. And winter gas is down this morning by 0.4% as well. So we are seeing a little bit of a move there, but it does look a little bit stronger than the front month contract. Last of all, German power down 0.6% at €42.30, still holding on to its recovery, looking still pretty good for a rise. We do have a new downside target though, so we just need to be watching that, and again, some shorter term downside targets as well. That's it for today. Watch this Nasdaq chart now. That's going to be pretty important. Until tomorrow, happy charting. See you then.